All right, welcome back to the Controvert podcast, where we talk about Asian dating. I'm your host, Panda, and today I have joined with me, Jono.
What's up, guys? It's good to be back. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to be talking about appropriating black people as Asian men. So whenever we date like a black girl, right, Jono, and then we're like so mesmerized, we're like, oh wow, this is something that we never really experienced, right? And I think like the way I go about it sometimes is I go like, I never told you this, by the way.
Okay, let's hear it.
Like,
let's hear it.
I go like, hey, I'm not really into non-Asians,
Yeah.
but you are beautiful as hell.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you see anything wrong with that?
why would I see anything wrong with that?
I don't know. I mean, I find it weird.
No, I think people have preferences,
Okay.
right? But at the same time, I'm pretty open-minded. You know, I don't ever judge people, just like what I've been through in life, right? So to each your own, right? Like I don't really see color in that way.
Okay, well, I mean, the reason why I ask is because, dude, this girl, she unmatched me. And it's not just one girl, bro.
Okay.
It's multiple girls, black girls, that unmatch me whenever I go like, yeah, I'm not really into non-Asians, but you're beautiful or you're cute, whatever, right? I don't know what the reason is, but apparently there's a something with like appropriation, that like some insecurity, right?
No. Here's the thing. All right. If imagine you match with somebody,
Yeah.
and it's a person of any different race. Let's just
Okay.
say they're Caucasian.
Okay.
And they're like, hey, I'm really not into Asians, but you're pretty. You would unmatch them right away. Don't lie to yourself. And,
no, okay,
you know,
but if a girl said that to me,
That's
like,
stupid.
For example, a white girl said that to me, I'd be like, oh wow, there's probably something special about me that appeals to this white girl. And you would want to be someone that's looked upon as very important to like your significant other, right? You want to be the one that stands out. You don't want to just be like a normal duster, bro.
I don't think that they look at it that way when you say that. They're not getting that context. You maybe have to explain a little bit more and go into detail. Like, hey, by the way, you know, just to let you know, like, you're very unique. Right? You're not really seen much in the community or whatever. I don't know. Right?
Okay, but okay,
If you give zero context and you just say that, I feel like it can be very offensive.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Because you basically just, I mean, that's just what I think.
okay, well, I mean, I'm also talking about this because I know recently you went through something similar as well.
Very traumatizing. I'm just kidding, by the way.
Okay, it's not that traumatizing. It's not that serious.
It's actually hilarious, to be honest
Okay,
with you.
so we're gonna play some stuff. Do you want to give some context before we dive deep into what happened here?
Yeah, the context is really simple. We matched, and I left a voice memo, and then she right away left one back, which, by the way, is pretty rare. Just to give a general gist of how the app works from my experience. And let's play it.
Hi, Jono. You definitely made me blush. Your voice is very attractive.
That thing was in the way. There we go.
Hi, Jono. You definitely made me blush. Your voice is very attractive. I am having a good Tuesday so far. I've spent it just indoors, taking it easy. So I hope you're having a good Tuesday as well. I would say of all my favorite places I've been, it would be Cameroon. It was a very heartfelt experience for me. So yeah, even though Kenya, no shade to Kenya was fun. The action with the burglars, fun. Definitely one for.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it right there real quick. So what I'm getting from this is that she sounds very excited to have the conversation. As you said, very few girls on dating apps, they would send a voice message back, right? Of course, Coffee Meets Bagel, you can't really send a voice message. For Tinder, can you?
I don't know.
think you can, right?
I don't think you can.
I mean, the reason why you like to use Hinge is because you could send voice messages.
Yeah.
But for this to receive like a long voice message back, that's
I was shocked. I mean, to get the compliment, like your voice is very attractive right off the gate. I mean, you're off to a good start.
Yeah.
So you think.
Okay. Yeah. So you think. Okay, let's continue it. Let's see it.
For the books, and I would do it all over again. However, Cameron definitely tops it for now. Green is actually not my favorite color. However, I love emerald stones, so that's why the stones in my necklace are green. Pink is actually my favorite color. I am obsessed with the color pink. And for the...
Okay, we're hearing some giggling. We're hearing some... Dude, I mean, I rarely see girls who are like this excited to talk to any guy. I mean, even for me, like I don't get that many girls that are this excited. It's really rare.
Very rare. Very rare.
The getaway, that was actually a trick question, and you actually got it right. Japan is definitely on my bucket list, so I'm glad to know that you've gone there before. Sweden, also on my bucket list because of the lights. I would love to see them. But if I had to choose where I would go first out of the three, it would definitely be the Maldives. So, ding, 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 you got that right. And then you said cheers at the end of your message. Are you from somewhere other than California? Because I have family from Germany, and my aunt and uncles always say cheers, so I'm curious.
Okay, yeah, Jono. Could you elaborate? Why do you say cheers, man? Are you a Canadian or some shit?
Well, I answered it back to her, so now I got to answer back to you.
Yeah.
No, it's just good vibes.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's kind of like, hey, cheers, have a good one.
Okay.
Right? It's very casual. No, it's not related to Germany or whatever, like Oktoberfest or some European other country. You know?
It's funny because like I say A, like what's
You
up?
do?
What's up with that A? You know, like when everything I add a A at the end. Whenever I'm like out and about with like the homies, like go like, dang, that girl's kind of cute, eh? And then people go like, yo, are you Canadian?
Yeah. I can see that.
I don't know. I mean, like some other people have like Canada especially. They have some pretty good, I don't know, what lingos. Right?
Yeah.
They go like, fuck, I don't even know, man. It's like they say buddy a lot, right?
God, I forget because I was just in Montreal like 7 months ago. I forgot, but they have a lot of lingo.
Okay,
that is different from the U.S.
So getting back on this main topic, I know we kind of trailed off topic a little bit, but did anything happen in the period of time from this recording and to the next one I'm about to play? Let's give some context for the viewers.
Yeah, so just really quick, what happened was I sent her a voice memo back, kind of describing what happened, because I sent her the podcast that we did, right? And she had something to say about me being afraid to say the word black when I said African American, which, you know, I mean, whatever to that point, right?
Yeah, so that podcast was the one where it's like why Asian men are not as desirable. And I think I was talking about some degenerate shit. I was like, well, it's because Asian men have small peepees or whatever.
That's true.
Asians just in general, on average, are packing a smaller size.
And she went really deep into that. She was like, statistically, that's not true. If you just look at science, you know, human anatomy, like that's not true from my experience and all this stuff.
I don't understand why she got so offended with that though, because it's like we're calling out our own kind. Not calling out black men. We're going like, if anything, we're saying black men have this thing. That's why they're
powerful. They're macho.
We're not being racist or anything.
And you're partly joking, all right? Like, obviously. But no. So she brought that up. She also brought up that the best experiences that she had dating were with blacks. I almost said African American, by the way, but blacks, and with Asians.
Let's go back to that. Now
I gotta be really careful because I don't want to offend any of you guys. All right.
It's so funny because the fact that you're trying to be careful and you don't want to offend anyone, that still ends up offending someone. Do you know what I mean? And
to each her own. Let's go off then.
It's weird because we're just trying not to offend anyone, but just us being careful, we offend someone. And why I say that is because when we're talking about our own kind, okay, we're saying like Asians, small peepees, and black people have big things going for them. It's like, why is she offended that we're saying black people have big peepees? Is this supposed to be a positive thing, right?
Well, I think it goes back to the issue that people can't take a joke, like a lighthearted joke, and they look at everything you say from a granular perspective, and they gotta like dissect it.
Yeah.
So like very serious, like, Panda, this fucking host, he said this. It's like, dude, it's a joke, all right? We're he's kidding, like, you know.
Going back to what you said African American, right? I don't even know why we are on this topic. By the way, it's so weird. But
by the way, let me know if I should say black or African American. Let me know in the comments, because I don't really know, like, to be honest with you.
It's very interesting because there was some debate on this. There's a post that went kind of viral. It was like, should I say the word black or African American? And they said that not all African Americans are black, but all African Americans are black. I mean, fuck. Sorry, I just confused myself. Not all blacks are African American, but all African American are black. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I honestly don't know what you meant, but I will say this. You know what? When I was on the phone with her,
there's some black people who are not from Africa. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Oh yeah. Like, yeah. They primarily reside in South Africa, though.
Okay. So I say this because when I was young too, I used to say the word African American. I was scared about the whole word black, and then this whole racism thing, it was confusing me as well. You know what I mean? So that's why I was also very careful. But I point this out because it's kind of strange. We've gotten to a point in a society where now when we try to be careful and we don't want to offend anyone who's woke, they still are offended. You know what I mean? And it's like, what do we do anyways? It's like kind of like they make it that we're appropriating them when they're appropriating themselves. I don't know.
That is kind of what it seems like, right? And I personally do not understand it. You know, like it's kind of like if someone were to call you Japanese or Korean or Thai, would you get offended?
No.
Exactly.
I'd be like, okay,
people call me Korean all the time because I got small eyes. And I say no. Like,
I've been called Jackie Chan. Like Jackie Chan.
That's hilarious, by the way. That's hilarious. I think that's hilarious.
Hilarious.
Right?
I mean,
think that's funny.
Okay, look, if I went out to a black guy and I went like, hey, Kobe Bryant, I mean, they would get offended, right?
I think they would take it as a compliment.
No, they would get offended, bro. They'd be like, why are you appropriating me?
Maybe we're just more lighthearted then. Maybe we could take a joke.
I guess Asian men can take a joke, man. I mean, we take brutal beatings from our parents already, so.
Oh.
All right, I mean,
I like that.
Okay, let's continue from this shit. Okay, so just to recap from this, we're very careful about like this whole black appropriation, but they still look at it as black appropriation. Okay, so now let's talk about the next subject, right? What else happened with this?
Yeah, so what happened is I left her voice memo kind of explaining why the link I sent her, which is the link of the podcast, why it wasn't meant to be offensive.
Okay.
And she was like, within 5 minutes, I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah.
She said, let's just hop on a call. So what do? I call, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're on FaceTime, and she starts explaining like, let me get on this podcast and debate Panda about this subject, yada, yada, yada. Human anatomy, just look at the percentages. What he said is not correct.
Why is she so riled up about this, though? It's kind of strange because it's like we're kind of appropriating ourselves. I don't know why she's trying to defend Asians so much, you know?
Well, she really likes Asians. She mentioned that.
I'm not saying that we don't have Asian pride. It's just so, like, I'm just speaking facts. I mean, she's talking about statistics, but statistically, Asian men have the smallest pee-pee.
Statistically, also, we are the least desirable.
Yeah.
Look at the numbers. Just check. Just Google it. Google it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit confused. Like, why is she so offended to the fact that we're just pointing out facts?
Woke mentality.
All right.
Are you woke?
All right, we'll continue on with the context. Though, what else happened?
So I get on a call with her, right? I mean, this seemed very urgent, so I had to call right away.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, like 5 minutes with it? Okay, yeah. So we hop on a call, and there was just this big kind of... I had to resolve the issue, right? Because there seemed to be an issue. And I knew going into it, honestly.
Yeah, was it tense?
In the beginning, it was definitely tense,
Oh.
right? Yeah, because you have to think about like, okay, I'm coming in here, and my thought is me sending you this podcast when you've complimented my radio voice or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just providing you entertainment. I wasn't thinking you would get offended by it, but at the same time, I was thinking, hey, if you are to be offended by this,
Let's work it out.
I'm thinking you cannot be offended by this, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, because you could watch it. There's nothing, we're just kind of joking around the whole time. It was my first time ever on a podcast.
Yeah. It's strange because she's like so giggly and giddy. Giddy's a word, right? Giddy.
It
like,
is,
it's
yeah.
very excited.
Yes.
She's giggly and giddy.
Yes.
It's weird. They both start with a GI, but anyways, that throws me off. And she's like very carefree and charismatic of a person.
Very.
And the fact that she's all dynamic and very interacting with you, and has a very positive vibe, she at the same time has a very negative vibe, you know. She has a positive aura, but the content she says is a little bit negative. And she's in a very debating mode, a very challenging mode, masculine in a sense.
I wouldn't say maybe. I would say she's definitely on the negative. She has definitely a strong negative side, but she's trying to hide it, right? With the positivity and kind of the sort of a weird trade-off, right?
I think the viewers probably don't know what we're talking about. I think we have to show the next part, huh?
Oh yeah, no. Let's see.
Or do you want to give more context? I just want to make sure.
No.
Let's get into the next part.
Yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily say it was anything you did in particular. I just kind of realized, like, you know, as a lady with the first day coming up, I kind of would, you know, I play our initial reaction so far leading up to that point. And I just realized last night with the conversations we were having, I felt that I wasn't being my authentic self because to me it's not a big deal that I'm attracted to Asian men or that I date Asian men. And I realized that the conversation we were having...
Okay, pause.
Yes.
So she was saying that like it's not a big deal that I was attracted to an Asian man. So she's making it sound like you made it a big deal. Did you make it a big deal? Like when you guys had this call on FaceTime? Like were you like, oh, I love black girls. I love milk chocolate. Give me some of that, mommy. Did you say anything like that? Like what's going on?
And
like,
now you're definitely going to get in trouble now. No. No. So I obviously did not say that, but I think the title, right, of why Asian men are the least desirable, which by the way, that's just a fact. Look it up on Google. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Okay. And so she took offense to that because she herself does not feel that way. Right. Mm-hmm. And I think because, you know, she disagrees with the title and what we're talking about. Ooh, now all of a sudden the woke mentality comes in and they got to sort things out however they want to do it. Right. Which, hey, I mean, look, we're just on here for fun. We're just trying to speak what we think and we're trying to open people's minds up. Right.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
I recall you said something like statistically, like Asian men are not that desirable, something along those lines, right? And you were interested. Right. You were interested, like, hey, how come you wanted to go on a date with me? Like you're, in a sense, you asked a question, right? Like that.
Oh, I did. Yeah, you have really good memory. Really sharp.
Okay.
You know, yeah. So I did bring that up. Obviously not in an offensive way.
Yes.
Like I was just curious.
Yes.
And so then she brought up like, well, you know, historically, I've gone along the best with blacks and Asian men. Like from a dating perspective, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And so
why is she tripping? Like we didn't say anything bad about black men.
We complimented black men, actually. Yes.
But their number 2 is going to be black people because they're packing a big size. Yeah, and we're just, in a sense, we're just like pointing out our own flaws as Asian men and how we could be better.
100%.
I don't know why she's defending the other side that much because it has nothing to do with her.
There also is no other side. Right? She's defending like some thing that's off in the clouds. Actually, right?
Yeah. It's very strange. It's just like looking for arguments to just have, right?
Yeah. That's completely the way that I felt.
Okay.
It caught me off guard entirely. And at the same time, but I knew, honestly, sending her that link, if she got offended by this, it's not going to work out.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not going to work out. Like, there's nothing offensive about it. It's just statistically proven that Asian men are not the most desirable. I mean, you just Google it yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Like, look it up.
Okay. So, I mean, I see a woman like this. If she's like really giggly and giddy, whatever you call it, and charismatic, but then she still wants to like debate. She's like, oh, let me get on this podcast. I want to debate.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Very riled up.
Dude, like, we're at the most, we're just appropriating ourselves. And we're not really appropriating black people. Like, you probably said one thing. You're probably like, hey, how come you wanted to go on a date with me? And then she probably took that to a big offense, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we talked about that, but like, you asked her something about like, hey, so because statistically Asian men are not that desirable, how come you were interested? I just wanted to know. And you were a little bit curious, right? And then that's why she's starting to say this stuff, because she felt like she was appropriated. And it's very strange because if we say one small thing like that, black women would get thrown off by it. I don't know about white women. I never tried that. I never tried that and went like, hey, I'm not really into non-Asians. Actually, looking back, white women never really, they were like, oh, yeah, me too. I like Asian men too.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's done.
It's very simple.
I don't know why with black women, it's totally different.
Well, tell me your experiences with black women.
Mine is very simple. Mine is very simple, Jono. It's so boring. I don't even think I should even mention it. I mean, it's the same thing that I mentioned during the earlier start of the podcast. It's just I got unmatched by several black women. Literally, my phrase was, hey, I don't really date non-Asians, but you're beautiful. Or, hey, I don't really date non-Asians, but I find you very attractive. And then unmatched. Which I don't have the record for that because I got unmatched.
Yeah, you don't have the deep. You should have taken the deeper dive. It would have been troublesome, maybe, but
yeah,
who knows? Who knows what would happen?
I think one black girl. I almost got a date with her, by the way. I wasn't that interested. I just wanted to see like how it would go. Like me saying the same thing that I always say. She was okay. She reacted cool with it.
Okay.
But statistically, what I experienced is I get negative feedback, and I'm like, why is this a thing? Like, is it because we're appropriating them? Because we're putting them too high of a pedestal that they're not used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it definitely could be that, right? But it could also be like they are just woke. They're easily offended.
Yeah,
they're easily offended. And look, I'm not here to say like it's like I understand the challenges of being black, African American, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. I understand the challenges of being Asian in America.
Yeah.
Everything other than Caucasian, to be honest with you, right? I understand the challenges of that because there are things you have to go through, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, we, at least in my mind, are not saying anything offensive. So,
yeah. She said something very interesting. She was like, well, I don't see like me dating Asians as ever being a problem. Let's just get back
it's
just making me a hypocrite, like for myself. Like, I've always wanted it to be normalized and not be such a big deal that I'm attracted to.
Okay, I don't know why it's bad to be a big deal. I mean, I think it's cool. I think if you have something where it's like out of the norm,
Yeah.
it is out of the norm, right? You asked me a question earlier, right? Before we got on the podcast, you were like,
Yep.
well, how many times do you see an Asian man with a black woman at the mall? And
Or just in society.
yeah,
Never.
never. Almost.
I've never seen it.
I rarely see it. I think I've seen it on like a tour one time when I was traveling and I was abroad in like Thailand or something. But really rare, man. You see an Asian guy walking out with a black girl.
I also never made it a big deal. Like she's like, oh, you made it a big deal. I don't see why it's such a big deal. I never made it a big deal. The podcast episode also did not make it a big deal.
Yeah, we were not.
Did you say anything?
We were not talking about black women that much. We were just saying like black men have big peepees, and that's
We're
it.
just saying that a lot of women in general like to
try black men.
black men. Yeah. And what's wrong with that? I mean, that's also true.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just me analyzing it from a very Controvert standpoint, obviously because we're the Controvert podcast, we're not going to dissect it in a very bland way. I think what it is that these types of women, they might not be used to something very special, and they want to have something just like really not be held in such high regard because they're not used to that. And you know, when they have this saying, it's like how you grew up, you're used to that. So for example, women who grew up without fathers, they're fatherless vibes, right? I'm not saying black women are fatherless vibes. I'm saying that there's a possibility that this girl, along with the other girls that unmatch me or unmatch other Asian guys who make it a big fuss, they probably are not used to something where it's like they're looked upon as, wow, this is such a lavish experience, you know, because they want it to be normal, but it's not normal. That's the reality of it.
It's not normal. And like going back to what she said, I always am trying to make this whole scenario normalized. It's not ever going to be normalized, number one. And it's not normalized now. So,
yeah. And I think it's fine if she said that, if you made it really a big deal, but you only said like, probably you guys only talked about it for a couple minutes, right?
I never made, why would I make that a big deal? You know, I'm trying to essentially take the girl out.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to talk about other things other than this BS, for lack of a better term.
Okay.
You know? So, yeah, I was trying to like dive away from the subject, but she just kept pushing to get on the podcast and debate the man himself.
Let's continue playing this.
Who I'm attracted to, and I realized, you know, with that conversation that I was doing that, like I was being a hypocrite, and I was playing into that, and I don't know why, or if I just, you know, I just realized, like, yeah, okay, this is not starting off on the right foot for me, so I definitely also have some self-improvement for myself, and I also want to thank you for, like, being very respectful about it, because some men tend to react when a woman pulls back or something, so thank you.
Okay. I'm very confused when she's singing like hypocrite, but I'm trying. Okay, I played that back many times, right?
You really?
did too. Yeah, you did too. Right?
No, I didn't.
You didn't.
I played it back like twice.
Okay, like I played it back like 3 times. Okay, I'm so confused. But I think
It is very confusing.
what she's trying to say is that she doesn't want to be a hypocrite by the fact that she doesn't want to play into someone who makes it a big deal where an Asian guy is like, wow, it's so lavish that I'm dating a black girl. And she doesn't want to play into that. She wants to normalize it. But the fact of the matter is, it's not going to be normalized. It's never going to be normalized where you see a bunch of Asian men with black women. Because the fact of the matter is, how humans work is they want to familiarize themselves with someone they're relatable with,
Culturally aligned with, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So Asians, of course, we have so many things. For example, going to another person's house, taking off shoes. We eat white rice. You know, like we're in like households where we probably get our ass beat a lot of the time. We drink boba. right? I know a lot of white people, they don't even know what boba is. I've met white people in the past few years, like after COVID. I'm talking 2020 above.
Yeah.
They don't even know what boba is. So when you lack that relatability, you're never going to be in this normal sense where a bunch of black women are dating Asian men. So I don't know why it's such a big deal that, you know, she sees it as, okay, why are you making it a big deal?
I never made it a big deal, right? And I even mentioned, like, I live in Louisiana for 3 months, and I don't know if you guys ever been to Louisiana. I don't really recommend going there, but it's 50% white, 50% black.
Yeah.
And I told her I was an alien. Like, I was actually like, being Asian, you're an alien there. So I'm just stating facts, right? And I think maybe that even riled her up more. I don't get it.
I mean, okay,
You know?
let's just assume that you did make it a big deal. You were like, wow, I'm so glad you gave me this opportunity to talk to a black girl, okay?
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
I don't think you're at any fault. I think that's very a human reaction for you to have. I would be doing the same thing. I'd be like, oh yeah, why do you like me? I mean, I never
agree.
had this experience.
I agree.
Have you ever scored a black chick?
Not even close.
Me neither.
What do you mean?
So-
Yeah, not
so-
even close.
It's like, for example, you lose your virginity. It's like, wow, this is a big thing. I just lost my virginity. It's okay. It's obviously not the same thing, but if you first time hooked up with a black girl, you'd be like, oh wow, this very crazy experience, you know?
Well, I wasn't looking at it that way. You know, like I said, you know, it was just, it was one of those things where I was caught off guard for sure.
Yeah.
Right? Because just like what we said, it's very rare. It's not common, and it's hard for me not to mention it. Right? It's just it just is. Like,
And you didn't even mention it like for that long of a time. You're just like,
No.
You just asked one simple question. That's it. And
Yeah.
then that became the center of why she wanted to end it with you. I mean, you guys didn't even start for that long. You guys were nothing, right?
we never even met in person.
Basically,
know?
they're going to go out. They had a call.
Yeah.
The first call was when she was like really excited and whatever, right? And she was like, I really want to debate Panda. Then this follow-up call is because she started ghosting Jono, and then she sent you a text out of nowhere. It was like, I'll put it up on the screen, but it was something along the lines of, hey, I don't think it's working out. All of a sudden, like, vibes were right, and then all of a sudden she just like blew it out of nowhere, you know?
Yeah, very caught off guard, but the host, he predicted this. He
Oh,
no. He
show
felt
all that.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna put it up on the screen right now. I mean, like, you'll see all of these screenshots of me just predicting she's bipolar, she's gonna do X. She did it all, bro.
and you know what's crazy? No, but you know what's interesting is I told one of my buddies that I sent her the podcast, right? And he was like, "Uh-oh." But he's a very conservative guy. I'm not gonna name him, obviously. Lives in New York. And I love the guy to death, right? But he's more conservative. He's more like, let's be careful.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember telling him specifically, I said, if this girl gets offended, I'm not a good fit anyway. Right? And she's not a good fit for me. I'm not a good fit for her. So
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, I just do not care.
And that's how you filter out people, and you know, like, they're woke. And by the way,
100%.
by the way, when you say when you say she's like woke, you're not just name calling her. It's actually based off facts, because the fact of the matter is, when you're being careful, or anyone's being careful about how you phrase anything, like, for example, appropriating like a black girl and making her sound like she's like high on the pedestal, like held with high regard, and that gets taken to offense, I think that's pretty woke, because this is supposed to be a positive thing. What woke people do, what they like to do, is they take positivity things and they turn it into negativity.
Yeah.
That's why we say it's woke. That's why I called her bipolar as well.
I think that's what she is, though. Like, in actuality.
Yeah. How do you
I mean,
go from like giddy and giggly, all of a sudden you're like,
one day later.
no, I just because like I like to, I'm a hypocrite. What the?
I also don't understand what she meant there when she said, I'm being a hypocrite to myself. Like what? Like how?
Yeah, I think it's like what I said, because she's
Yeah.
like, she doesn't want to play into it. She wants to normalize it. But of course, as we said, it's not going to be normal.
It's never gonna be normal.
No way. No way in hell. It's weird, man. Like the fact that we're making this a positive thing and putting it on a pedestal, and then they don't want to accept it. I think we as Asian men, we just need to kind of just act like it's normalized. Like we just have to fake it, I guess. And so I guess for all the fellow Asian men out there, if you're dating like outside of your race,
Yep.
you gotta just act like, yeah, this is normal. Because
Fake it till you make it.
yeah, fake it till you make it. Because I mean, with this experience, with my experience, I think it's at a point where we now as Asian men, we just have to accept that this is normal when it isn't.
You know what's interesting? I just thought about this right now.
Yeah.
So because we said Asian men are least desirable, which by the way is statistically proven,
Yeah.
right? Maybe these women feel like, hey, the fact that I like an Asian and you're calling them least desirable is offensive to me.
That's still a small minority, you know? That I know what you're saying. It's preferential.
Yeah.
But that's an issue in and of itself, because if you're saying like, well, this is my preference, you're a bigot for saying that.
Yeah.
First of all, bitch, I'm talking about myself. I'm not talking about other people. Why are you so offended about this?
I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. Right. I can't answer that.
Look, Jono, the fact of the matter is we have to normalize it. We have to just act like it's totally normal. It's 2025.
Which is fine.
Asian men are with black women now.
All the time. You see it every day.
How about black women? Let's start having you speak some Chinese. Let's start having you speak some Korean. All right. And then let's normalize that first. But until then, I don't think we can do that. I don't think we can do this whole normalization of us Asian men expecting, oh, wow, this is completely normal. No harm, no foul.
You know what's interesting? I think on her profile it said like, one of the best ways to ask me out is to take me to your favorite food spot.
Yeah.
You know I'm taking her to the Asian Chinese hole in the wall. We're not taking her to, anything else, right? We're not taking her to Applebee's, to Chili's. We're going straight to the mom and pop Asian shop where they speak no English.
Okay. She better know some Chinese then, eh?
Well, she got me. Well, she
Not
did
anymore.
have me. Now she's gone.
Oh, she missed out, bro. She's pretty good too. I mean, how old was she again?
30?
30?
30,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's not bad. She's not old or anything.
No.
I think the fact that you're young like that and you still can't find someone, I think there's definitely something off. I think she easily gets off put. And I'm not just making, okay, I don't want this podcast to be about just this one girl. I think why we want to talk about this is because there's several girls out there that get off put easily.
100%.
Like, for example, when I said I usually don't like non-Asians, that is very off-putting. Really quickly, they get off-put by that when it's not really off-putting.
Yeah. It's not meant to be offensive. It's just a fact. And you're actually being very honest and transparent. But all of a sudden, right, they're like, ooh, I'm so mad I'm going to just unmatch you or whatever, right?
They're not used to it, man. Fatherless, man. That's probably why.
I don't know what it is.
Because remember how people, when they go like, I have daddy issues, and so that's why I go for fuckboys. It's kind of intertwined because these girls who have daddy issues, they like to go for fuckboys. It's kind of like why I mentioned fatherless vibes is because if we put them too high of a pedestal and go like, wow, you're glamorous. Like, I've never had something so exotic like this. They're not used to it.
Which, by the way, I never really portrayed it in that way.
I'm portraying it in that way.
Really?
Yeah, I'm portraying it in that way.
Oh,
and usually I'm right, man. Remember, I predict everything right.
No, I was shocked when you predicted this shit right.
Did she mention anything about her father?
Of course not. I mean, you know.
If we could have someone on the inside who could match her back up and ask her about her father and how her relationship is, I can guarantee you it's not good. Because she's not used to things that are positive. She's used to negativity.
But what if you just woke? Like, what if you just have this woke mindset, right? Like,
Well, where does wokeism stem from? It stems from like these kids that are in bad households. That's why they gravitate towards wokeism.
yeah,
Because they're like, fuck everything. And they're so negative about everything and they have a bad outlook that they gravitate towards negativity. And that's why anything positive is offensive,
yeah.
right? Bro, you said nothing offensive, bro. And then that was all taken offensively? That was just weird, man.
I don't really like saying anything offensive in general. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If anything, I was just complimenting. I was throwing out compliments like it was like Halloween. It was candy. Yeah. Going like this. Truthfully, like, I just don't really... I don't see a point in being negative. I just don't.
Yeah.
So...
All right. Well, I mean, I guess just to reiterate, I just want to say to Asian men, try to normalize.
Yeah.
It's so cringe for me to say this, but
It is.
Try to normalize it so you'll get better matches with non-Asians, I guess.
Well, no, it's when you do match, right? You have to normalize it as if you don't even... It's just not a big deal.
Put on an act. Don't even act
Yes.
like... Don't be like, wow. I guess. I don't know. Even though you weren't, but
Yeah.
if you give one comment about like how
Yeah, exactly. Just don't
you know?
don't leave one comment about race. Just pretend it's a... If you're Chinese...
pretend
if you're,
she's Asian.
Yes,
that's
yes, 100%. No, because if I would have done that, right, the results would have been different. Now, obviously, I'm very happy.
What if she can't use chopsticks? It's a different story. She's not Asian anymore.
Well, hey, I'll bet you everything I have that she cannot use chopsticks.
Fuck.
You know she's pulling out the fork at the Chinese restaurant.
Oh shit.
And she probably don't know how to spin the table. You know what I'm saying? No, she doesn't know. You know, you spin it one way, she spin it the other way. You know?
She probably doesn't know. Each individual dish, you need to share family style.
What's going on with this scenario here?
She's probably gonna order one for herself and eat a whole meal of a fish.
You see, and that's where like this becomes a whole thing. Like, it's like, why do we have to? No, like, there's things to discuss from a cultural standpoint.
Things that are just common sense. It's not normalized.
Yeah, like,
of course,
dude, it's not culturally aligned. And if it is going to be an actual relationship, there are things you have to discuss inside the relationship to balance it out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fact. If I go to a black household or a white household, there's things I have to understand because guess what? Everybody, my parents, they're not white and they're not black. What are they? I don't know. Maybe Asian?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, no, we have to discuss that. Yeah. Same thing as if I tell them, hey, when you come into my house, you know, I know this might sound weird, but please take off your shoes, right?
Exactly.
Now, sure, there's an argument that like people already know that, but it's just, no, you have to remind them because they don't take off their shoes inside their household.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast again, Jono. If you guys like this video, make sure to drop a like. If you guys felt like what we stated were facts about appropriating black women, it's not really appropriating, man.
No.
I mean, it's, if anything, it's glamorizing black women. So.
Glamorizing. I like that word.
I don't know. All right. Well, make sure to subscribe and then leave a comment what you think. And we'll see you guys next time on the Controvert podcast. Peace out.